This show has not been sponsored by anyone yet, but I have been asked to make this announcement as a white guy to make things sound more official.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, The Culinary Leap. I'm really excited to be talking to you after a while. It's been a few weeks now, and I've really been busy with a very spontaneous trip back to Bangladesh after 5 years. And I decided to join my parents, who were also visiting from Virginia. It was an amazing trip. It was definitely what I needed, very wholesome. I have an aunt there. I have my 2 little cousins there who are now fully grown adults and have their own personalities and their own professional and personal lives. And of course, the food was a very, very big highlight for me during my trip. I have come back with a few extra pounds and I'm trying to lose those the past week. It's been challenging, especially because I've brought back a few things from Bangladesh as well. So on today's podcast, I'd really love to share everything that I found absolutely delicious and things that I had after a while, things I grew up eating and was missing thoroughly. And I'd like to start with some of the store-bought things like a chocolate cake called Black Forest Delight from Shumi's. So it's like a mud cake. It's very moist, super decadent. It has peanuts in it, and it's very dark. It's like dark chocolate. And I've had so many different cakes around the world, like dark chocolate cakes, but something about that specific cake is just, it hits differently. And I was able to taste that after 5 years and just took me back. And that's the thing about food. It's the memories you have associated with it are so powerful. Just transforms you to that moment in time. And I can say the same thing about a lot of other things like sandwiches from Sausly's. So we had this sandwich shop. It was a chain around the city, and it's not really anything special, but it's like filled with so much chicken and mayo, and the chicken is so thinly shredded, and it just is very simple, but the bread is also soft and really thin compared to the filling, and it just hits differently. And I'm so happy to say that the quality of these 2 examples and many other places have remained the same. And that's not easy for a food establishment to do. So I was very proud to go back this time, not only for the things that remained the same, but also the changes. And other than technology being more at the forefront of the country and the city, I think it's more the city in general, and other developments, since this topic and this podcast is about food, I really want to talk about the different authentic restaurants that also exist today. And it's been a few years. I just haven't been in the last 5 years to really know that. But yeah, you name it, Chinese dumplings, authentic Japanese, Thai, Malaysian, Mexican, American, obviously, and Italian. It's not just restaurants with the Bangladeshi touch, which I love, by the way. It's also the authentic places that exist today. And one of my friends took me to this food court in a mall, and I was just amazed to see the variety and the colors. It felt like I was in a movie, like a Disney movie. It was beautiful to look at. So it was just amazing in terms of being in certain places and the feel and look of certain patisseries. It was nothing short of patisseries I've been in California. But whenever I went to these places, I actually stayed away from eating at the very authentic French patisseries or very authentic Chinese dumpling places because I can get that here. So what I was really looking for was things that I missed, my childhood favorites, like the ones I mentioned, or maybe some newer things. And one of my mom's cousins actually hosted a dinner, and she made Chunga Pitha. And I've been hearing about this from another cousin of mine. It's basically sticky rice that's shoved inside the hole of a bamboo, and that bamboo is basically smoked and heated up in open fire. And that causes the rice inside to cook and be smoky with this really distinct flavor. And that sticky rice is paired with a very creamy milk curd, which we call Khirsha. It's like slowly cooked and reduced milk, where you keep cooking the milk until it's basically solid, and it's also sweet, but not extra sweet, because we like our desserts, but we know the balance in our desserts. And when I had that at her dinner party, I was absolutely amazed. So one of the things I do want to bring back to my dinners is attempting to shove sticky rice inside a bamboo, heat it up in open fire in my backyard. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for that, but I'll figure it out. I've done it before. I've done crazy things before, like smoke things inside the house. So I think I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm really excited to introduce it to the menu coming up on March 13, which is my next dinner, by the way. And speaking of, I will have about every 2 weeks, I'll have a dinner date out. So definitely sign up if you haven't already. The next 3 dates are out. And what I plan to do with the next 2 at least is to celebrate everything that I forgot about, my childhood favorites, and also things that I learned, like Chunga Pitha this time. And the April one is closer to Pohela Boishak, which is Bengali New Year. So that menu is going to celebrate what we eat during the Bengali New Year. So my next newsletter and podcast will definitely be more focused on those flavors and those topics. And coming back to this upcoming dinner and the menu and the inspiration for my trip, another dinner that I will probably never forget, and it was one of the best dinners I've had in life, hands down, is when my mom's sister, she ordered chicken roast, which is like a very gravy-induced, creamy, fragrant chicken curry, and a Shahi Polao, which is essentially white rice pulao made with chini gura rice, which is a specific Bangladeshi kind of rice, very short grain, not long like basmati rice, but it has all these different flavors from kera jol, which is basically pine essence, and rose water, and saffron, and just all these beautiful, mild fragrances that add this uniqueness to the rice that I've never had before. And a bunch of butter and oil, for sure, and ghee, which is clarified butter. So it's not healthy by any means, but it's definitely one of the best pairings I've had in life with food. I never ate this much rice at one sitting. So I'm not proud of it, but it tells you how good it is. And then my aunt at the same dinner made this sweet rice dessert because, there wasn't enough rice that we ate, right, from the pulao. So she made this sweet rice dessert we call jorta, and it's an orange rice dessert, and it has flavors of orange. It has, again, some saffron flavors and whole spices like cardamom, cinnamon, and cloves. And it's very simple in its own thing, but it's topped with some cream, which is Khirsha, again, that slow-cooked cream, and really small balls, mini balls of sweets. Mishti is what we call it, spongy milk sweets. And sometimes they add raisins and nuts to it, but my aunt made it exactly how I wanted it. I did not want raisins. I don't like raisins for some reason. but people can go all out and put a bunch of different dried fruits and stuff in it. So definitely want to bring that back too. So I definitely have the dessert plan ready. And for the mains, I'm thinking of definitely attempting the white rice pulao, the Shahi Polao, and chicken. I've attempted that chicken in the past and it's come out very, very well. So I just need to amp it up a little bit because the flavors were comparable but better. And it's hard to explain that. So it's going to take a little bit of experimentation in terms of what ingredients to put. And I really hope my memory serves me well. I did note down the notes as soon as I ate it because I know it's hard to remember so many ingredients sometimes. So everything I was tasting, I was trying to really figure out what was in it. Because the chefs that cook in these restaurants in Old Dhaka, which is like an older part of the city, we call Puran Dhaka. Those chefs have their family secrets, trade secrets they will never share with you. So even if I reached out to the chef and asked them, they would not tell us, unfortunately. And this reminds me of this other thing that I really wanted to know the recipe of, and my friend said, you will not get that recipe from the store. It was a Malai Cha. A Malai Cha like I've never experienced before. It just smelled so nice, so fragrant, so creamy, but not rich and thick where it's going to give you a stomach ache. And it wasn't overly sweet. So I really want to replicate that. And I know by doing some research that the way they create that depth of milk flavor is by boiling the milk for about 8 hours. So I think my electricity bills are going to go really high this month, but it's definitely worth trying. So I hope with this podcast, I made your mouth water a little bit, and I will continue to talk about my trip in the next few podcasts and also my newsletter. If you haven't signed up, please do so, because I think I just have too much to talk about my trip. And it was also very unexpected, so trying to organize my thoughts here, but just wanted to share the preview of what's coming and hope to see you at one of my dinners. And